Party people, what's going on? It's Samaj Marsh. I'm the founder of BlueDeathValley.com. I want to welcome you guys back to another special edition of Inside the Valley, the podcast that's devoted to relentless coverage of A&T football. Of course, I should have both co-hosts tonight, but we got one right here in the building right now. The man to the right is always polite. He's a long-time A&T insider, beat writer on BlueDeathValley.com for over 2 decades. He is the current president of the Greensboro chapter of the AAF. They were very busy last week. He's my right-hand man. His name is Craig Turner. What's going on, CT? How you doing, man?
Hey, doing good, man. Aggie Pride. Big
Pride,
week
man.
last week, and I'm tell you, I'm running on fumes.
Oh, we all are.
Still
are.
trying to get it. Still trying to get it right. We 3 days into the new week, and I'm still trying to recover. It was a busy week last week, but everything. Glad to see so many people out. Saw a lot of old friends, and it was just a really good time. Biggest homecoming crowd I can remember. It was like this year. There ain't no telling what it's going to look like next year with a 100th anniversary coming up. So
that's going to be bananas. I don't even know how they're going to prepare for that. That's going to, I mean, because we got so many creative people involved now in the process. With we talked with Willie D's last week about the new fundraising initiative, all Aggies all in, getting where you fit in. And so I think that's going to strike a nerve with the younger, especially the recent graduates in the Aggie family. And they're going to be coming in now, and it's not just a spectator sport. They're going to be getting involved in planning and making things happen. So, like I said, the Aggie family, the fan base, that tent is getting bigger and bigger, and it's a great thing to see. Of course, we got one more guy, AD Fresh, Doug Brown. He's in transit. He has to do some AD duties, so he'll be here a little bit later. But the theme for the show tonight was question, GHOE withdrawals. Do you have any GHOE withdrawals? Because like you said, Craig, that was a major undertaking, and it wasn't just a one-day event. It was a whole week-long extravaganza. Obviously, it culminated for sports fans on Saturday at the football game. And of course, by now that we had another disappointing finish, lost 22-16 to South Carolina State. It's the second straight loss to South Carolina State. We had their number for a couple of years, and now they've kind of built a little winning streak. And it dropped our record to, I want to say, 1-6 overall. Yeah, and we are 1-2 in the conference. So that was not a conference game, but we have a whole bunch of conference games coming down the pike. And this, fortunately or unfortunately, is the bye week. So we got a chance to lick our wounds, reassess, and figure out a path forward. So we're going to have a little fun tonight. We are going to kind of talk about Saturday. We're going to get a full recap on Saturday. Then we're going to, since this is not quite the middle of the season, not quite the midway point, but since it's going to be a bye week, we're going to spend some time looking over everything, give some mid-season grades, a little midterm report card, find out where we stand. And then we might, if you got some time, we'll open up the show to the misfits, I like to call them, folks in the chat. If you got some comments or observations from this weekend, we'll like to hear you share those thoughts. But Craig, real quick. So unfortunately, it was good for me. I didn't get the chance to feel all that heartbreak in person, but I was in Durham, had some family obligations down the highway. And I was kind of monitoring the game as much as I could on my phone. But give me your personal synopsis of what happened on Saturday, man.
Tale of two halves. Solid first half against a pretty good defensive team from South Carolina State. Second half, turnovers. And it was really, that was the difference in the game. 2 big back-to-back turnovers. Right there, I mean, literally back-to-back. One was blocked punt. They got recovered deep in our, I think, around the 6-7 yard line. They took that in. Then we had another. We had a breakdown in pass protection. Quarterback gets hit, ball gets loose. They pick it up. Real short field, another 20, 25 yards. They take it in. We missed an assignment over the middle on a 3rd down play, and they hit a big one right a little post pattern in the middle and took that in. Then we had another fumble again, the same exact thing. So all of South Carolina State's points came off of turnovers, including the 1 touchdown pass. That was directly off of turnovers. So you can't turn the ball over. You can't turn the ball over 4 times and expect to win a football game. Not against a good team. And that was the difference in the game. Now, we didn't quit. We made we got down and stalled on a, I think, which would have I thought it really would have put the pressure back on South Carolina State. With about 8 or 9 minutes ago, we were inside got a 1st and goal, then end up getting a sack or whatever. Not a sack, but a busted running play, and couldn't get in. Went for a 4th down, couldn't get in. Got the ball back, got it back, and took it in for the 2nd time. But it was only a few minutes left. We needed to make a stop. We didn't do it, and that was really the ball game.
Yeah, that sounds kind of like the script from recent games that we've watched. And we got Fresh here. I'm here. AD Fresh.
Hey, what's up, guys? Aggie Pride, baby. Aggie Pride.
Aggie Pride.
Hey, man.
But so before we go further, let me definitely introduce our second, actually the 3rd person. This is my 2nd co-host, but the integral part of the show. Let's just say that he's a A&T native. He's a former A&T wide receiver, Greensboro native. He is the current athletic director at T.W. Andrews High School in High Point, North Carolina, and he was one of the hosts of the greatest tailgates on earth. at least that's what people said on Saturday. So it was all around good guy, my man Douglas Dougie Fresh Brown. What's up, Doug?
Hey, what's up, guys? Hey, I guess it's still appropriate. I hope you guys had a happy G-Ho. Happy G-Ho.
Yeah.
Still coming down, for that fun ride. But good to see you guys, man. Good to see you guys.
Hey, so Craig was giving me his take on the game, and it sounded, like I said, it sounded eerily familiar to a lot of our other recent games where we kind of had the lead second half. We're looking good. He called it a tale of 2 halves, like Charles Dickerson. But it's I don't know what we missing. I'm not sure if the other team is just making better adjustments than us. Are we running out of gas, losing focus? But it seems somewhere around the middle of that 3rd quarter it's just kind of like our Achilles heel. And that's when the momentum shifts, and we're unable to do anything to reclaim that momentum.
It's focus.
That's what it is.
It's pure focus. It's pure focus. We get last couple games. We've controlled the tempo. We've had teams pretty much where we want them, and instead of us picking up the intensity, we relax, and it's bit us 2 weeks in a row. Games we should have won. In actuality, we should have won the last 3. But again, it was focus that is our biggest bugaboo now. It's not so much what the other team is doing; it's what we're doing to ourselves. And you can't, like I said, you can't beat yourself.
You got to take A&T off the schedule. Yeah. So Doug, I know you were kind of occupied during the game time. I know you was probably peeking as much as you could. But when you got a chance to sit back and look at the replay, what were some of your takeaways?
Craig said it, and Coach Gibbs has said it. We just got to find a way to take A&T off the schedule. Doing those mistakes that hurt us, shooting ourselves in the foot. Those are big plays and big mistakes that usually help determine the outcome of a game. But me, I'm always going to take a look at the bright side of things, guys. I don't know the last time that we've had back-to-back games where we were playing with leads. We had a 10-point lead, 9-point lead. That shows that we're getting there. We're getting there. And it's still a process. You still have to learn how to finish games. But we played a good ball club. Let's not glance over that. South Carolina State is a physical ball club. Coach Berry, his group does a good job. You heard Coach Gibbs speak on the quality of the coaching staff, and so they went in and made adjustments. And but I think it speaks to both coaching staffs. The fact that we came out there and we had a solid plan to slow them down, right, and it really caused them some trouble. They went to a different setup at quarterback, and so we did what we were expected to do, or what we would hope that we would do on defense. Just had some things not go our way earlier there in the second half, and putting ourselves in a tough position. But hey, that's just been the name of the game for us. But hopefully, we're getting ready to climb that hump. We've already climbed a few humps. Like being productive on offense is a hump that we were just dying to climb. And prior to this game, having back-to-back games where we scored 30 points, we saw Kevin White continue to make some strides. So we're close. We're getting there. We still got a ways to go, but proud of the guys and their effort and the way they fought again. Didn't give up. And fought there to the end and gives themselves a chance. So we still got some hills to climb, but we're getting better, guys.
Yeah. And that was like, they say in boxing, they say styles make fights. This was a weird game because I think usually you don't have a non-conference game this late in the season, for one. And then when you're playing a traditional, HBCU longtime rival and a former MEAC conference foe, I think there's a lot of emotions involved. I think you saw that in the amount of penalties because this was a penalty fest. There was over 200 combined penalty yards by both teams. They had 16 penalties for 130. We had 10 penalties for 95 yards. That's a lot of them penalties. And it kind of caused the continuity of the game. Like every time there was a play, it looked like the refs were meeting together throwing something. So it's like you couldn't even get a rhythm. I think that took us out of some of those scoring opportunities when close to the end zone. And they say, you can call holding on every play. They say, that's saying you can. I mean, I think for whatever reasons, the referees were hypersensitive to throwing that flag this game, on Saturday. And I think that affected how both teams were able to just get into their rhythm. But like you said, Dougie, I think an interesting move was when Chennis Berry decided to go to the bullpen early. And they've been playing both quarterbacks all year. But I'm not sure what his, rhyme or reason when he makes that move. But they made a quarterback switch, and they went to the other guy. And they stayed with him the rest of the game, and they ended up getting the win. I know Kevin White has made strides these last couple weeks, and he's probably solidified himself as QB1. However, I've been hearing rumblings that we get some guys back healthy, especially with this bye week coming up. So you might get some of those guys who got injured week 2. Some of those guys might be back cleared. If you guys give me your thoughts on this, do you feel like you still just going to go, Kevin White till the wheels fall off, or are you going to? Because we didn't pull the plastic off of everybody now. We didn't play 7 guys this year, and all of them have held themselves fairly accountable, right? Do we kind of go to some type of Kevin, this is your job, but if you ain't feeling it, we gonna go somewhere else. I mean, how would you play, Dougie, moving forward after this bye week as far as the quarterback situation?
Well, again, Coach Gibbs has no secret about saying that it's a competition every week. Okay. But Kevin has settled into the job. We've seen some production there. We're trying to develop some continuity, right? And so as long as he's healthy, I'm rolling him out there right now. We'll see what happens down the road, but that's just my personal opinion. Of course, we have other talented guys. We like the depth. We want to keep it that way. Craig, we're not looking to play 3 or 4 guys. If you're playing 3 or 4 in a game, it's probably not going your way, as we saw down in UCF.
Well, I'll say this though: South Carolina State, they went into the game saying we probably gonna play 2 guys. They did play 2 guys, and they end up winning the game. So it's not like that's just a recipe for disaster. If you have a way to make it work, it can work. And we're in a unique situation, Dougie. We got it's not like we got Kevin White in the 6 drawers, right? I mean, we got a lot of dudes. The only person who's won a game for us was Noah Sanders. He got the handoff from Nelson Lane, right? Those are only 2 guys who got a win.
We've got one. Nelson Lane's there, but we've got a gentleman who's out for the remainder of the year as a true freshman due to a broken collarbone.
Jai Wall, yeah.
Right? And then you also have 2 other gentlemen who are coming back from arm injuries and
dislocated elbows. Yeah, Braxton Thomas and Chip Long, right?
Right. So, personally, I'm not looking to rush them out there just for the sake of, mixing it up. I'd rather have their health at the forefront, and let's make sure they're good and healthy, and then everything heals up. Because we know that Braxton is a physical guy. Champ, had some issues with ball security early on. So let's continue to allow him to kind of sit and watch a little bit.
Well, you say Champ had issues with ball security, and I agree. When that dude takes one step outside the pocket, it seems like his hands just get real slippery, right? But we got to be honest. KJ White didn't have the best ball security this past week, and he had 2 costly fumbles in enemy territory, right? So it's like I say, I'm not advocating to replace Kevin White as QB1, but if Braxton Thomas is getting cleared after this bye week, he didn't do anything to say that you go back on the shelf. Braxton Thomas, I guess, really, in my mind, he was QB1 before he got hurt. And some people say you shouldn't lose your job to injury. So what's your take, Craig, as far as just how we handle the QB situation moving forward?
He'll play both of them. KJ will still be the starter, obviously, because he has more time under center. He's had more time to adjust. But I think you'll see them both play going forward.
Right.
You got to remember KJ's still a little guy. He ain't but so many hits you want to take, especially if your offensive line is not protecting him. And that was the case. In all fairness to him, we talk about his 2 fumbles. His 2 fumbles were not because he had small hands or he lost control of the ball. It was because he got clobbered. Let's call it for what it is. Offensive line did not do a good job on that defensive end because that guy with what's his name, Hun or Han or whatever his name is, he lived in the backfield. I mean, he ate the tackles up. It didn't make any difference what side they lined him up on. We could not block that guy, and he really was the difference maker in that ball game. So we got things to correct more so on the offensive line end. We got to do a better job of we just got to be quicker in our foot movement, because the one thing I did notice that they were just beating us off a speed rush. There wasn't anything they were being wasn't playing bully ball where they were just like just running through people. They were running around us. So the offensive line is going to have to get itself together this week or on this bye week. They got to do a better job of firing off the ball as far as the running game is concerned, because our running game was not very good on Saturday. It was good late, but not good throughout the bulk of the game.
And Coach, unfortunately, they didn't have a press conference this past Monday because of the bye, which I don't really understand, because I guess A&T views the press conferences as previews for the upcoming game more so than recapping the previous game. That's why when we have the season finale, there won't be a press conference that following Monday. So,
right.
So down it, because there wasn't a game this week, they decided not to have a press conference. But Coach Brown still did the media availability for the CAA this week. So I think, I don't know. if it's me, I'm still having a press conference because I know a lot of alums like going to it. A lot of AAF members, they kind of set their Monday schedule to go into, the student union, listen to Coach Gibbs, just kind of give a status report on the football program. So I think it's a missed opportunity. But if they want to take a break, that's up to them. But so there was no press conference on Monday. But I know in previous press conferences he lamented the fact that he cannot establish that running game. And that's Dougie. That's got to be killing him because he's a running back guru, right? And you got the horses, you got Graves, you got Dillard, Blizzard, you got JT Smith. I don't know what happened to Jalen Hicks. He might be on the milk carton somewhere. Haven't seen him in about 3 weeks. But you got a talented stable of running backs, but for whatever reason, you can't really get it rolling like you want. And Doug, would you say it's just offensive line inconsistencies? Was that what you put the blame on?
That and some tough opponents, right? South Carolina State, they got a tough front. That's what they hang their hat on too. So that they've had a lot of turnover on their roster, but that was a championship ball club a year ago with a championship culture. So, it's tough. You got some familiarity there amongst the coaches. So we just hadn't been able to get it going, but we're making a valid effort. The guys are running hard.
Yeah.
It has to be a perfect concert sometimes to have a lot of success in the run game. And so we're just still working through some of that. We got some young guys plug it in up front. So it's all a learning process, guys.
Yeah. So final score was 22-16. We had the lead. We had a 9-0 2-score lead midway through the third quarter. And did you guys feel confident at that point, or were you kind of wait for the other shoe to drop? Be honest. When you saw when you looked at the scoreboard, because I was looking at my phone, I saw 9-0. I said, God, that's still. I would like 21-0 a whole lot better than 9-0, but I'll take it, right? So how was you guys feeling? After halftime, midway through the third quarter, were you guys confident, or were you like, feel like a scary movie, somebody about to jump out of the window, scare me? What was your feelings then?
Man, I don't know about y'all. I was feeling good. Third quarter, man. Everything's going good, man, and it's still a 2-score ball game. And you heard me say when we're down 2 scores, it's 2 scores. A lot can happen in 2 scores. We saw it in the Hampton game, so I knew that the game wasn't out of reach by any means for either team, but it was going to come down to the end, or somewhere late in the fourth quarter. So you expect South Carolina State to make some adjustments. Coach Barry, he's an offensive guy, and he's got some good offensive staff. So they made some plays. We helped them out a little bit, but definitely expected them to get on the board at some point and make it a 1-score ball game. But hoping we could put some more points on the board, but it didn't happen that way, Craig. So we had to take it as it come. But again, you expect all those games against South Carolina State to be close or to be hard fought. I won't say close because we've had some blowouts on both sides, but what they bring to the table, and they would keep fighting, and they weren't going to quit either.
And last year, even when we were struggling last year, we went down there and got a nice little a double-digit lead, I think, at one point in the second half. Yeah, so it's almost like repeating this thing, man. I tell you. So we were in the third quarter, we were winning by double digits, just like last year. Then the wheels fell off, just like last year. I don't know what it is. And that's 2 different regimes. So you can't say just, Vincent Brown and him. It's the same thing has happened with 2 different staffs and a lot of new faces on the roster. Are we cursed? I don't know. But Craig, what was the atmosphere? Because I watched it. Obviously, I wasn't there in person, right? I watched it on TV. I watched it on the Flow app. Flow Sports, and I don't know if it's my sound. I need some new speakers on my laptop. It just seemed really eerily subdued in there. Like I didn't hear a lot of buzz. The crowd, I didn't see people, background doing a wave. It looked empty too. Like the first half of the first quarter, I'm like, this is homecoming, or it's just family day because this don't look like homecoming. So what was it like inside Truist Stadium on Saturday? The atmosphere.
It seemed kind of me to be kind of an average crowd at homecoming. I think they were. I think it got better in the second quarter, obviously, but I think a lot of it has to do with the activities that are going on out and about.
Right. Yeah.
Of the game zone. There's a ton of stuff going on in the game zone. You got concerts going on. The same
you got
time, you got
Jada
football games going on.
Yeah.
You got tailgates that you got. You got everybody and their cousin out there tailgating. You got 20,000 people inside the building, but hell, you got another 60,000 out there in the game zone. So it took something away from it. As far as the crowd, the crowd getting into the ball game, I think most people were there. I think most people came there for the social atmosphere than the football game, and it's because GHOE has now become it's taken on a life to its own. It is like the giant family reunion of Black people for a weekend on the East Coast. That's really what it is. We get crowds of 100,000 plus people on the campus, and with these concerts, and shout out to A&T because they've done a really good job of expanding on where
it's the whole city.
Just before.
It's the whole city now.
Football game. It's a festival. It's a week-long festival.
I live out here. I won't tell you what state. Y'all might be trying to bomb a house, but I live out here way close to Highway 150. And there was a GHOE event on Friday in like somebody's farm. I was like, dude, y'all ran out of clubs downtown, so y'all renting out farms out here in the sticks, right? So, I mean, it's like it's engulfed the entire city of Greensboro. This is a cultural phenomenon now. But,
it's a whole different deal. It's unlike any other HBCU, and I heard this stuff all week and saw it all on social media and everything, and everybody's talking about, well, if your team ain't winning, and how come A&T can sell out be so happy about GHOE and your team's not winning? How does that equate? That doesn't make any sense. Well, it makes sense if you know anything about A&T. We got a huge fan following, folks. This is the place where everybody wants to be. I mean, it's just that simple. This is the place where everybody wants to be. If they see A&T's homecoming or A&T, anything involved with A&T, I guarantee you, whether it's in Greensboro or it's in Timbuktu, if A&T's involved in it, people are gonna come out. Whether they have any interest in the schools or the event, if A&T's involved in it, they're gonna show up. They're gonna show up.
Listen, I hope I'm not getting them in trouble, but my son's football team had a big win on Saturday at the same time A&T was playing their homecoming. As soon as this game was over, I was like, so you want to go out and celebrate and get some food? He was like, nah, I'm coming to Greensboro. So him and 4 of his teammates were on the highway to Greensboro after the biggest game of their season. This is the biggest win of their season, and they thinking about coming to Greensboro for A&T's homecoming. So that shows you what this craziness is all about. But hey, if anybody got anything to do, it's a bye week for A&T. There's something going on at in Durham County Stadium on Saturday. Shaw University has a homecoming. Y'all might want to go out there and support those people because I know at least 4 or 5 of those players supported us on Saturday. But man, listen, man, this is crazy. And we were blessed too. We have a bunch of photographers who came out there and captured sights and sounds of Saturday all the way around on the field and in the tailgate area. Let me bring some of those up to some of our BDV legendary photographers. All this stuff right here is on the BlueDeathValley.com homepage. Michael Simmons, he goes around and he's an institution. This is some of his shots from the game. You can check out his full gallery at BlueDeathValley.com, Dr. Michael Simmons. So AAF dropping big checks once again. And that's Mr. D said there's going to be some signage and there's going to be some marketing about this new All Aggies All In, Get It When You Fit In campaign. And sure enough, that was Nice little scoreboard promotion. Small little QR code in the bottom right. We're gonna get that thing bigger, guys, because I don't know if your phone gonna pick it up from the stands, but yeah. So things are happening, man. I think Darren, you guys know Darren Toller. He was out there too. He had some awesome award-winning photos. He's always capturing the band in action. This dude, boy, has a eye for the festivities, man. So yeah, look at that. That's a money shot right there. So yeah, so guys, check out bluedeathvalley.com, and there's a photo gallery with Darren Toller and Dr. Simmons. I think somebody else sent me some photos too that I can get a chance to upload, but I'll upload those tomorrow. So we're gonna have some bonus photos for you guys. So look, 22-16, lost another one, 1-6 on the season. Now we got next extra couple days to figure things out, but this is kind of like the midpoint, a little bit past the midpoint. So I think it's only right that we kind of take a step back and just give some midterm grades, not final grades, right? You still got a chance to improve. That's what my professors always told me. Don't freak out. You still got a chance to make up for these grades. But let's go ahead and let's look at position by position where we are, and I want everybody in the chat to participate and give me your thoughts too. Where we are so far with this 2025 A&T football season. And Dougie, we're gonna start with you. I'm gonna say, let's go. You were a all-state wide receiver in high school, and you finished as one of the greatest wide receivers in A&T history. But you also played DB. So let's start with on the defense. Let's start with secondary. We got the corners and we got those safety guys. Let's put them all together in one bucket, and let's say what would you grade? What grade would you give the defensive backfield, the secondary so far through 7 games?
Well, I can go ahead and save you a lot of time right now. I'm giving our guys and our complete unit the expected grade that you would hear from me, Craig. I'm giving them an I. I'm giving them an I.
You're gonna get so. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry. Express yourself. Give me your thoughts on why you gave him a grade for him.
I know that's typical, incomplete, but I'm not giving them the incomplete, Craig. I'm giving them the eye for improving. We are improving. We're improving. That is my theme for this current state of the season and our midterm grade. The eye is for improving. I think you can look across the board, even in the defensive room, knowing that we are, I won't say shorthanded, but we are maybe not as talented with experience as we've been in the past, losing Karan Prunty. But seeing some young guys step in there, be willing to, be physical, make some tackles. Unfortunately, we've had to chase a lot of guys down, trying to run guys down on some long, big runs. But coverage-wise, we're improving, Craig. We're not giving up as many pass plays. We're actually there in position. And we're getting some PBUs. So with the addition of the young guys that are coming along, some of the second-year guys that are actually getting a chance to play, which I consider a lot of our guys on the back end as second-year guys because we had so many injuries last year, with the exception of Ty Williams and Aaron Harris, who've been around for a little while. They're a little long in the tooth. Everybody else is pretty much, getting their first full year of experience back there. So I think the more we play, the better we'll get. So you're going to hear a common theme with my improvement, but because we've got some groups that are improving. Okay. Hopefully that turns into some wins down the road.
All right. Well, I'm giving these dudes, let me see. So they only got 3 interceptions this year so far, and they're ranked out of 14 teams, they ranked 9th in the CAA as far as interceptions, with 3 for 7 games. And then let me see, I'm looking at some more stats here. Defense wise, against the pass, they rank 8th, giving up 216 yards a game. Passing wise, defensive efficiency, they rank 12th. I don't know, man. Listen, I wish I could be as as understanding as you are. I can't give them no higher than a C. But my ceiling is a C, because I think when you do have an argument that they're playing kind of guys who are a little bit ahead of schedule. We got Aaron Harris, who's the elder statesman, and then he's done a good job of holding his end of the bargain. Then we moved Ty Williams to corner. Stephen Davis, he came in late right at the Central game, and it's taking him a while to get his sea legs back. He's not the full version of what I think he's going to be by the end of the year. And then we got the freshman guys, and in the back end we got 21 Savage. I don't know, C minus. I give him a C. What about you, Craig?
C. C. I think that's a fair grade. I'm like Doug. I think they're better than they were a year ago, but there's still some issues as far as recognizing what assignments they, recognizing their assignments. We're letting guys, So I think it mostly. I don't have a problem with the corners, but I think we could be better at safety. But again, a lot of young kids back there. They've done fairly well. We talk about interceptions. Well, you got to remember, a lot of your interceptions are due to what kind of pass rush you're getting.
Right.
That creates a lot of interceptions, a lot of overthrows, underthrows, tip balls, that sort of thing. So, but I think, if I was giving if I'm an instructor and I'm giving a midterm grade, it's a C as far as the secondary is concerned. I think there's been some A performances by some people.
Individuals.
There's A, B individual performance, but as a total group, it'd be a C.
Yeah. All right, well, so let's talk about the defensive line, because you said like a lot of the impact on the back end is caused by what happens in the front end, which is that front line, defensive line. It's no secret, we've been saying this ad nauseum for like what part feels like 2 years now. We have to get stronger in the middle of that line, defensive tackles, nose guards, big uglies, what have you. That still has not happened. Either we just didn't do a good job recruiting, or the guys we hope to get there didn't stay healthy. I'm not sure. At the end of the day, I'm a little bit. My patience is kind of wearing thin on the defense because I keep saying it so much. I hear myself repeating it. I said we gotta get better at defensive tackle. And every spring, somebody on the board is like, "Oh, we fixed the issue. We got this guy, this transfer from here. Yeah, but he's healthy for like 2 games, right?" So I just, and then Chris Allen was supposed to be the returning guy, and he tore his like bicep or something. So it's just like we're so thin. We don't have a lot of depth ever, right? And then the guys, even the ones we have, are still slightly. We don't have a prototypical defensive tackle, even at our best, right? I think maybe the guy we had last year for like half a cup of coffee from Appalachian State. What was that dude's name? He was a big guy who came in here. And everybody thought he was going to be doing something.
Prince,
talking about, Doug?
Had the hyphenated last name.
Dingle Prince, something like that. Prince, something like that. So he didn't produce. And this is on Coach Gibbs. I'm gonna tell you right now, this is something you got to figure out. And and then I'll put this out here. I heard from a lot of people that we've had individuals who were classified as defensive linemen who were in there in spring and fall camp, whatever. They're not with the program anymore. Either they just decided they didn't want to play A&T football, or the coaches decided they weren't quite to that pedigree. But we're missing some defensive tackles for non-injury, whatever reasons. That's something we got to figure out, because we can't just be wasting guys. If they get here in the fall, they need to be here right now. So I'm going to give the grade because of Tim Alderman and who's on the other side of Tim? What's the kid's name?
You're talking about Hood. Hood, yeah.
No, not Hood. Hood's the inside. Sorry, guys, I can't. That's the other defensive end.
Trayvon, you talking about Trayvon Dye, the freshman?
Mitchell Etridge. I was thinking about Etridge.
Oh, Mitchell.
Yeah. I like Etridge.
Senior, yeah.
Yeah, he's been playing good. But besides that, man, like I don't know. I would just because Tim has been balling out, I'm gonna give him a C-. That's my grade for the defensive line. Craig, what do you say?
Yeah, I say C. Again, it's you don't have a lot of depth. You're not a real big team. You're not as tiny as you were a year ago, but still, they have their spots. But physically, a lot of times they're going to be overmatched. But they do about as good a job as you possibly can. Given what the circumstances are. So I give them a C. No disrespect, but your record pretty much says you are what you are. So
right. I mean, yeah, like I say, that's going to be a common thing. Doug says his common theme is improving. My common theme is we're 1-6. Okay, so somebody's going to have to take the brunt of the responsibility on here, right? It can't be all flowers and rainbows. We're 1-6.
Some of it goes to coach. Some of it goes to coaching too. Some of it goes to coaching.
We have a great.
And we don't have to guess about it. Coach Gibbs stands up in the press conference every week and says, "This one's on me," or they need to get better as a coaching staff. So it takes away the guessing game of who he's putting it on or who you need to put it on. But we know the reality is it is shared. It's a shared responsibility. But going back to the roster and the amount of guys that are playing here and there, I mean, you can have it one or two ways. You can have the roster full of bodies, right, that are there, and you can be happy that you got enough bodies or plenty of bodies, or you can work to get the right bodies and the guys that you need in there, and go what you got. Like, I'm not going to sit on here and not act as if the defensive line hasn't played above their head at times. They've shown flashes. I go back to the Tennessee State game and, not the UCF game necessarily, but games thereafter where we played behind the line of scrimmage and we caused havoc and we've made some big third down stops and we've gotten off the field when we need to get off the field at times. And so, Alderman is a part of a unit. He's obviously a talented individual, but they've played well as a unit at times, especially, you're talking about with Hood. And so I think, it's tough when you have the UCF game sitting there and it was a blowout and we were overmatched, up front and size-wise, but we've matched up well enough with our opponents and done well enough, other than big plays. Craig, we've given up a lot of big plays that you take away those plays out of the game, and the stats say that we've dominated some guys on defense at times. Not every game.
We held South Carolina State to 9 points for 2.5 quarters.
We shut them out.
Yeah.
We shut them out.
They want to run. They want to run the ball. That's their MO. They want to do some bully. So
we dominated Maine. That wasn't just on the back end. That was up front, right? We gave up the big play when they were backed up into their own territory. But up until that point, the stats show that we were in control of that game, and even periods throughout the Tennessee State game. Up until the big plays, Craig. We were doing what we're supposed to do. So again, we can get caught up in the moment. We can look at, we're not taking into account an injury here or there, and then we don't have a lot of depth. I think Craig hit the nail on the head. We're not very big, and we don't have a lot of depth, but we've played not being big before, so that part doesn't bother me.
Okay, that does bother me. That bothers me because we shouldn't have to do that. Like we got to put these kids in a position to be successful, and that comes with roster construction. Okay, this is
what also comes with periods that are that you go through where you're able to adjust your roster. Like again, we didn't bring in 60 new guys, and you just don't have your pick. That takes some time to overhaul your roster and to make some of those adjustments. Yeah. You can argue, hey, we didn't go bring in Vince Wilfork in the offseason, or we didn't go get that transfer. But I'd rather these guys, because they have some time to get it done. I think if we look back, 6-7 months ago, Craig, we weren't going to think, hey, this thing's going to be flipped.
We didn't have enough guys to put together a defensive line 6 or 7 months ago.
You're right. We didn't even have.
We were going into spring practice. We were coming off of last year when we hit the holiday season right before the early signing period. we didn't have anybody on roster except for about 2 or 3 guys, and they had put their names in the portal.
So guys,
yeah, it's gonna take recruiting. I mean, let's be honest. Yeah. We don't have the Jimmys and Joes right now that we know. Coaches already said that he's got to go out and get him some players, and then recruiting is going to be is his number one thing going into all season.
Yeah, okay. And I think we can all agree that we feel pretty confident that our coaching staff has the ability to go get some good guys.
I do not. I do. Listen. I personally, I'm from Missouri. You got to show me, because I thought Vincent Brown was definitely going to be able to fix the defensive tackle position. I thought Gibbs would be able to do something a little bit more sooner than this year. The good thing about our show, everything we say is archived and timestamped, right? We can go back 2 years from now and we can check it. So from a year from today, I don't want to have the same conversation like we need more time. We don't have enough depth. Like at some point you got to bring in the guys to fix the problem. And so
he brought two of them with him, Samaj, and they are our best 2 defensive linemen. I
can dig it, but listen, Dougie, we're still 1-6, okay? And so at some point, maybe he should have brought 3 more, okay? I'm just saying you got to fix the problem. I'm like you. I'm realistic.
Well, let me ask you a question. Okay. If we're able to hold on in the last 2 games and we win those last 2 games, do you feel any different about the defensive line? Like that, I don't think those 2 things go hand in hand. I don't think you can just pin the record on whether or not he flipped the defensive line and brought in the difference makers, right?
Oh, I think you can. I think because we're losing the same way, we run out of steam, and just like so let's go back to last Saturday. We scored a touchdown pass to get to 22-16. We kicked the ball back off. We didn't get the ball back again because they just ran the ball and got multiple first downs and ran the game out. So we couldn't get a stop when we needed to. That's part of the reason we don't have a strong front 7. So we can extrapolate good plays here, Tim Alderman there, but in the whole scheme of things, we don't. The defensive line, when it absolutely positively has to get a stop, more times than not, it's not been able to do that. I'm not kicking the kids.
No, I disagree with you there. Okay. I disagree with you there. Okay. So we did it against Maine. We did it against Maine. We did it against William and Mary. We did it against Hampton. So yeah, we can make the stops, but we didn't execute on the offensive end like we should have. That was the difference. I don't think it was anytime you get to you're talking about same thing in the Tennessee State game for that matter. We made the stops, got it down there, missed the field goal. So you got 4 games in there. You got 4 games in there where the defense stood up and made the stops necessary to put us in a position to win. We just didn't convert on the offensive end for whatever reason. So I can't go along with you on that because the record, the facts speak differently. The facts speak differently.
All right. So, and like I say, I want to give everybody an A. Okay, we're just trying. This is a mid-season. Just it's really just trying to figure out where we are and what we need to work on. So my grade will be C. Like I said, I can't deny the flashes that we've seen. I'm just saying I'm more, I guess, impatient and frustrated with the roster construction because I feel like I'm in the same spot that I was last year. And we had some splash players. Who was our BDB player that posted a player of the year last year?
At what point this staff wasn't here last year? This head coach was not here.
That's what scares me. That's what scares me. This staff is new, but I feel like the results are similar to what we just said.
Do you recall just how bad we were?
Craig,
really, seriously, go back and look. Do you realize how bad we were in 24?
I mean, okay, we can say
we were awful. I mean, we weren't even competitive a year ago. We wouldn't even be in against South Carolina State.
We lost.
If we were not even competitive. The only 2 games that got away from us from the beginning was UCF and Central. But everybody else, we have been toe to toe all the way up to the final, minute, or in some cases second of the ball game. In 24, the people were headed to the tailgate before halftime. So not
every game.
Wait a minute. Let me finish what I'm saying. Okay. You can't compare the two, because we're in two totally different situations. Now, if you talk about roster turnover, it normally takes in football. It normally takes two recruiting classes, at least two recruiting classes, to turn a roster over. It's not like basketball where the portal where we turned over 10 guys in 1 year and you got an entirely new team. You can't do that in football. The numbers don't allow you to do that.
Right. Okay.
Plus the fact that the portal this year is going to has changed now. You will no longer have a summer period.
That's right. It's right. One period now. Yeah.
All your transfers got to come in during that 2-week period from January. Starts January 2nd. You got 2 weeks to get all your FBS guys that you're going to get. If you're going to do a transfer, you got to do it, whether it be FBS or FCS, and that's it. And if you don't get them, if you don't get it done, then you're gonna have to wait till signing day. So it's a different proposition. I don't know if too many teams are going to be able to turn over a lot of roster within a 1 year period. I just don't see it happening. It's going to be at least a 2 year process.
Yeah, I think once again
it's going to be at least 2 year process to turn over a roster. Now you may get lucky. Who knows? You may get lucky and pick up 4 or 5 guys in the portal that on to play in the front seven.
Yeah,
highly unlikely, but it's a possibility. Given that with the team limits now, instead of scholarship limits, you got team limits. So there are going to be some people available, but in 2 weeks, I don't know how many you can get in there. I don't know how many guys you can bring in for visits and.
That's another thing. Logistics of it. Yeah, that's gonna be crazy.
Yeah. So unless those guys have already indicated through some third party they looking for a place to go, it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be hard to do it through the portal in football. It's gonna be very hard to change your situation strictly through the portal this coming season. Yeah. Those high school, junior college guys, that's where if you're gonna flip a roster, that's how you're gonna have to do it. You're gonna have to do it through junior college, prep schools, or high schools. That day of bringing in 24 transfers through a summer portal, those days are gone. They are gone. So be prepared to see a lot of people not go into the portal this year. And I think that's what's going to happen. Unless you have a coaching changes at some of these schools. Well, although they've been firing a lot of coaches in the last 10 days. Yeah. I mean, they've been clearing house. And you're going to see some guys move and switch then. But, I'm just telling people what to expect in advance, so people don't get all upset if they don't see 15 transfers come in at one time, because it's not going to go that way.
All right, so let's finish up defense and let's go to linebackers. Last year we were tough on linebackers, man. I think we gave some flag poles on the grading standard for some of our linebackers, and I think everybody who played linebacker pretty much last year is either at a different school or playing a different position. So this year, I guess the starters were Josh Isaiah. He had an interception, has a good game. And then we had
his second on the year.
Huh?
His second on the year.
Second, yeah. And then we have Jaden Williams. And then I think Terry and George and some other guys, or Charlie Dixon might get some reps. And I think I even saw Cameron Dalrymper, who was playing safety early in the year, they moved him to inside. I'm not sure that's because of this. He's improving there, or there's an injury. So, linebacker core. Listen, this is to me where teams attack us. And if I'm an opposing team and I target a certain area of your defense, then that means your defense is that's a problem. So I'm gonna go ahead. I'm sorry, and everybody else can be politically correct. I'm giving a D. They gave up way too many big plays. In between those big plays, there's been some solid play, but you don't in the box score when it says 70-yard touchdown or 80-yard pass up the seam, and that's your man in the seam. That's what people remember. So if we're 1-6 now, if we want to get some wins before the end of the season and not have our third straight 1-win season, the linebackers have got to, eliminate some of the mental breakdowns and whatever. That's the big thing, just knowing your assignment. And like I say, they got talent. I think Joshua Isaiah is somebody who can play on Sundays. And I think this is his natural position. I'm glad the coaching staff saw that and put him there from the edge. But overall, I got to be honest, the linebacker core has underachieved to me this year. I give them a D, but it's not the end of this. It's not the end of the season. There's room, but that's me. I linebackers D. Dougie, are they improving still? You're in.
Yeah, no, well, again, we talked about Josh Isaiah and him being in a more comfortable position. But again, he played a little stand up last year, moved back inside. So again, he showed some versatility. But as a unit, we've got some work to do across the board at linebacker. Again, we've got some room to improve talent wise. We got some room to improve just across the board. But confident in Coach Jones and what he's been able to do, Coach Lance and their track record at the linebacker position. Right. And just like the other position, we've shown some flashes, just still trying to put it all together. So got a ways to go.
Craig, how you want to give a definite grade on the linebacker core this year so far in 7 games?
Yeah, there's been other than Josh, I think there's been inconsistency at linebacker. I've seen him make some decent plays, and I've seen him get in the wrong, get too far up inside, get trapped.
Eyes in the wrong place.
Guessing, trying to make a play, but guessing wrong. I would say a D. And it speaks for itself. I mean, those splash plays are happening for a reason.
Yeah.
Go
ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, go ahead. No, go ahead. That's it for me.
But I was going to say, Craig, I know you kind of hurt my feelings when you said like the transfer portal might not be the answer, because I was thinking, well, let's just go to the whoever wins the Division II national championship this year. Let's just go find their middle linebacker and pay them $20,000, whatever it's going to take for them to jump ship, and get them over here. Because I just want somebody. I don't want no more play.
You're not going to get that. You ain't going to get that play for $20,000. Okay.
Look, but I just want somebody, because I feel like even Josh Isaiah, and he's my guy, I feel like these guys are learning on the job, right? I feel like no one's a natural fit. They're still trying to remember, do I step on my right foot? It's like, I think it's too much learning curve. I want somebody who's just a seasoned veteran who, wants to come to number one HBCU. We saw GHOE. Whatever the selling point is, I feel we got to get somebody, a Luke Kuechly, a poor man's Luke Kuechly in the middle, and that will solve a lot of our problems. And that would be my number one target. I just feel like we're missing that BJ Little. We're missing who's one of the guys you played with, Dougie? You had
Milton.
Shamar Milton. Yeah.
Herb Two-Shot Dixon.
Yeah, damn it! If we had a Herb Dixon, I would not be having this gray hair right now. I think that because like I said, like a quarterback, I tell my son, I don't care about the damn problems. Your job is to solve problems. Middle linebacker, he's calling defense, he's setting everything. Your job is to solve problems. You can't be looking the other way while the tight end's going behind your back flat wide open. Okay, so we got to find a middle linebacker, somebody on the inside who's just a steady, can diagnose the play before the offense even says hike. I want somebody who knows everything like Luke Kuechly. Okay, that's a pipe dream, but I'm a dreamer. So that was the defensive grades. Let's switch over here to the offensive side. Let's start with your guys, man. Dougie, because you like these wide receivers, and we've seen a lot of different guys, man. Listen, this has been a banner year for the newcomers. You go ahead, Dougie. Give me you probably actually give a grade for this one, but give me a grade for wide receivers so far.
Well, being that I am a former wide receiver, I see all the little things that our guys are getting done, and we have had some increased production on offense. And being in a position that is dependent or codependent on not only the quarterback to throw you the ball, but for the offensive line and center to get the quarterback the ball, to protect the quarterback, and everybody else do their job just so we can have a chance to make a play. I got to give my guys a shout out. We're B plus right now. We're B plus, and we're a B plus because we're working with what we got. Right. Yeah. A lot of those guys have stepped up and made plays on the offensive side of the ball. Yeah. We got Roger Kennedy making plays in special teams.
Nowhere. Yeah. Right?
So we're making a tremendous impact. We got some young guys making impacts, but I love to see my guys, Amante, Mr. Warren coming back out, playing well. With the big play at Hampton and just key plays throughout the season so far. And then of course Mr. Dillard, who's been Mr. Consistency.
I got 5 on it.
Yeah, we've really kind of settled into our roles in the RPO, Craig, and we've been pretty sure-handed on those RPO plays, and we've been able to bring back jump ball you just a little bit. Hadn't seen as much as I'd like to see.
Not much.
We got some opportunities.
Yeah.
But Amonte's still out there, and they've shown that could make plays with whoever was calling the plays, whoever the trigger man was. Right. We've had big plays with each quarterback. Kevin White. We had a big play in Tennessee State with Amonte down the stretch to kind of get us back in the game. And then, of course, the Hampton game with Warren making the big score. So, that's what we do, man. That's what receiver crews do with units, man. We're a true unit. So, good job, guys. Keep up the good work and look for us to continue to make plays out there on the edge, man. And it's not just catching the ball. To have big plays, you got to continue to block. So, hopefully, we can spring some big runs.
I love receivers who start block. Yeah,
that's my one critique. We gotta stay on those blocks out there because eventually we're gonna have one and we're gonna have a chance to pop it, and we gotta make sure that that's not the one play that we're not still locked in with our guys. So a little bit better effort on the edge, just with start blocking and getting it done. A little bit more nasty out there, and I think we'll be fine.
Yeah. All right, what about you, Craig? What grade would you get a wide receiver?
Yeah, I agree with Doug. I think the receivers have done a really good job this year. The guys are making some really good catches. They're not dropping balls. They're running good routes. They're getting open. They're getting separation. That's for damn sure. That's something that they didn't do a year ago, or they get. Guys are getting open, and they're being in the right spot. So they're running the routes and they're catching the ball well. I'm kind of like Doug. I like to see them do a little bit better. I like to see them do a better job of downfield blocking on the run plays because I think I agree with him. I saw about 3 or 4 plays of Webb and Mary that if we had followed through and stayed on block, we probably would have busted them wide open with it. With that one area, with the exception of that one area, I think other than that, I think they've done a great job.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna give these guys. I might be the highest grader. I'm gonna give them guys an A-, and I'm gonna tell you why. It's just like, and I'm always been tough on Coach Poole. I coined the phrase "hands like feet," right? So I've been tough on the wide receiver core in the past, but these guys have been sure-handed, and they've made big plays when we need them. Elijah Kennedy, man. Who he was a afterthought for me at the beginning of the year. I didn't think he was going to be a factor, and he's emerging as the big play guy out of nowhere. Special teams are in the receiving game. Dillard, he's just steady, and he's an athletic specimen. He's a poor man's Elijah Bell, I think, and I think you keep giving the ball, he might be a rich man's Elijah Bell because I think he has that type of upside. Warren. All he does is make big plays. If he's gonna catch the ball, it's gonna be for some momentum shift or a touchdown. And then Jones, once again, he's just not the biggest guy in the world, but he got a lot of athleticism. I like that. And then we got these new guys. Let me throw some video here. I gotta give love to my young guns.
Another chance here.
Here's from last week.
White on second down. Breaks free, has some room, throws on the run. It is caught.
That's Thomas Brown. I think he's a senior, and he hasn't made that many receptions in his 2 years here, but he picked the end of the game to kind of get on the map, and his coming out party. That's a nice. I'm gonna see this replay. It's an awesome
play by Kevin White.
Toe drag swag, as they used to say.
Thomas Brown.
Tommy toe tap.
That one in.
Injured defensive player.
And there's an injured Bulldog on the far sideline.
That's a lot. Oh, that's so Dougie.
Thomas Brown not only
you would know better than me. Well, what type of body control do you need to be able to do that? Just to defy gravity and make sure those piggly wigglies touch on inside the white line. How does that work, man?
Well, first of all, you need some natural ability, right? Like you can't handle 2 left feet. You can't handle 2 left feet. But he obviously has good awareness of where the sideline is, and he kind of established, how far he could go. But then he has to have that athleticism to stretch out and the timing just to make the catch, right? That's the main thing. He's obviously got a little basketball background to him, but he's an athletic kid, man. He didn't get a ton of opportunities, but he stepped up, made the best out of the opportunity he had Saturday, and that's a beautiful catch, man. I like that catch over there on that sideline.
Able to hold that one in.
Defensive player.
Showing love to Thomas Brown.
Bulldog on the far sideline.
Big time catch, man. Because your momentum wants to take you out of bounds. You have to stop, fight against that gravity, and just hover straight down.
As they say, Craig, that catch is good on Saturday and Sunday.
Sunday. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and here's another guy who made a nice reception late in the game. The hyphenated one. We got a lot of hyphens. We might be the all-hyphen team for the CAA. Michael Carlack-Williams. And he's always been a name that gets bounced around in the spring and fall camp, but he's been kind of quiet once the season started. But he made an appearance on Saturday with a big catch.
Under pressure, throws, gets hit, and completes the pass to Carlack-Williams. And there's a flag.
All right. So that was Carlack-Williams, and then here is the touchdown by Mr. Brown.
White throws it, completes the pass.
Shoot move.
Brown into the end zone. Touchdown.
Now, this is and I know you probably had this anxiety right here, Dougie. You score a touchdown. You probably wasn't expecting to score a touchdown, and now you're obligated to do some type of celebration. And so he's going through his mental, he's going through his computer, God, dog. He's going through the whole Fortnite engine. What dance? What am I going to do? Am I going to pop lock? Am I going to do the Smurf from 1984? What am I going to do to cap this touchdown?
North Carolina
and
that's all effort from Thomas Brown, who made the improbable catch on the sideline.
Thomas Brown, this is your one shining moment. I don't know if that is sufficient. You got to have something ready on. If you score again, I expect a little bit better from you. But hey, listen, man, great job, guys. The young guns, but he's a senior, but his first time really getting the limelight. So the wide receivers, I give them A-, man. I'm grading on the curve, but running backs, Craig, what grade would you give the running backs this year? C. Woo. Whoa. I thought you'd be a little higher than that. Why just a C?
Now, again, I've seen. I think Russell Graves is playing about as well as anybody can possibly play. He's the toughest kid I've ever seen. He comes and he brings it every day. I mean, he's bringing it every time he catches the ball. He's our biggest running threat, and I think his play has been exemplary. The other running backs, okay, and not nothing to nothing to what I call write home about. Some of it has to do with an offensive line that's green as hell. That's still in development, but I haven't seen that burst that I expect from an A&T running back. That acceleration
we're leaving meat on the bone. I think we're leaving some meat on the bone, and that's the bad thing you say to a running back room because they want to be the guys.
We're not exploding into the hole, and we do okay as far as running the edges, certain plays through the middle, but when you need to have that burst, we haven't had it. It is what it is. Again, a lot of it has to do with inconsistency that we've had in the offensive line, with having to play a lot of young guys. We got some people been beat up all season who, not 100%, and I think that attributes to it. But other than Wesley, the guys they've been okay. They've been okay, just okay so far.
Dougie, you gonna give them a grade, or are they improving?
I mean, well, I'll say they're right there with Craig. Kind of in that C- B+ mode. I echo Craig on Wes. How I feel about Wesley Graves and his ability and what he brings to a football team and a backfield. Much like the wide receivers, a lot of what the running backs can do is tied to what's going on up front. How successful. And let's not forget that, some of our 2 games in, Craig, our running backs were taking quarterback snaps because we were down to our 7th-string quarterback. Right? So, that game as well when the box is loaded up because they know you can't pass the football, right? So we were able to, develop a little bit of a passing game over the last couple of weeks. But, let's face it, early on, people had their ears pinned back. We're making it really tough for us to find some creases now. I will say Wes isn't the only one who has ran hard. When we saw JT and what he brought.
I like JT because JT's gonna put his helmet down and his shoulder and pass.
He sure will.
He would not. He would not finish meekly. He's going to go out with a bang.
Absolutely. And not to mention, Shamik Blizzard has ran harder this year and has shown probably his best stuff since he's been at A&T. Right? He's been solid with his opportunities. He's shown that burst, and he's shown a willingness after Coach Gibbs kind of talked about the running backs being able to stick it up in there. He's shown a willingness to just to run forward and see what happens. Right, to put his head down. I think it was a bit of the Hampton game. He not the Hampton game. Tennessee State game, he caught a screen pass and got north and south. And then, of course, the UCF, he had our lone touchdown. Right. So I think we're very spoiled at the running back position, or when it comes to the running back position.
Oh yeah,
right?
So what was the shirt? What was the shirt Coach Gibbs had on the sideline at homecoming? RBU. So this is not indicative of what people think when they close their eyes when they think of RBU. We think of Mo Smith. We think of Mo Hicks. We think of Tariq. I mean, I'm not going to go through the whole cast, but I agree with Craig. This is not on that level yet. Okay, it's like this midterm, so I'm not going to say this is a finished product. But the one thing I'm seeing, I think these guys are running hard. I mean, Graves, JT, those guys run hard. Blizzard, he's not a shrinking violet. The breakaway speed is the most glaring thing. We don't have that breakaway speed. We all thought Jalen Hicks would be his time to finally showcase some of that explosiveness. The worst thing you can do as an A&T fan is come to practice in the spring and the fall camp, because you're gonna be seeing so much stuff like, oh man, we got this tight end play, we got this jet sweep, we got this. You don't see none of it this season. So you get so worked up on all the possibilities. But we got 5 tight ends, they can all catch with one hand. You don't never see it, right? So I don't know what happens, but like Jalen Hicks, I know for a fact I was at 2 practices 2 days in a row. He took an inside trap, got inside the tackles, juked the linebacker and went 70 yards on the practice field, right? I don't know how we can't use a track athlete in this offense and get them outside in space and see and make them do something. I just don't understand how that's so hard of a thing. But evidently it's hard. Okay. We got to figure out a way to get some explosive plays. We give up explosive plays. We're not getting enough with our running game. Wesley Graves is not the fastest guy in the world. He's fast enough to get you. He has some long runs. Tennessee State, he has some touchdown runs, 30+ yards. But he's not just somebody who you hold your breath as soon as he gets outside the tackle. JT Smith, he's probably a step faster than Wesley Graves, but he probably he's not going to take it to the house against the defenses we're playing against. We miss Kenji Christian. I'm gonna say that one more time. We miss Kenji Christian. When he was healthy, that was RBU. Okay. I don't know. We move down Ripple from running back to, I guess, linebacker now. So once again, it's going to have to be a building effort. Maybe get some assistance in the portal, but once Graves graduates, we're going to be looking for a bell cow, right? And
if there's one position that I don't worry about A&T being able to fill, it's the running back position. We've proven, regardless of the record,
right,
we can get a NFL quality running back in here, and not just a body.
That's true.
We put guys in the NFL at running back.
That's true. So
if not the NFL, at least the Power 5 with no problem, Craig.
Yeah.
I'm not worried about attracting a running back. All right.
Yeah. So my grade
for our university.
My grade for running back is probably C+. Because I like the fact that they are getting tough yards. But I guess somebody's got to get the blame because we're 1-6. So we can't say everybody's just doing a perfect job. Offensive line to me has been the down part of this offense. I was expecting a lot more. I know they're green. I know we got some people from Fort Valley State who's playing or whatever. The fact is we're not controlling line of scrimmage. We're barely giving the quarterback time to get a 3-step drop and get his feet set. The running lanes are not gaping. It's not like the Autobahn where you just look over and there's somewhere to run. So I will have to give the offensive line a D. And I'm not sure. I think if you extrapolate each individual position, I mean, I like Wiggins at right tackle. He dominates sometimes, right? I like Corian Sharp at guard, right? There's people here who are having good seasons, but I don't know, just the whole unit. And Mattis, you gotta give him some blame. Mattis, this has not been his finest work. Okay, I like I say, I've been expecting more from Courtney Cord at defensive line. And I'm expecting more from Ron Mattis at offensive line. Now, I will give them praise and props as soon as I see some improvement. But right now, at 1-6, those been the two low positions on the roster: defensive line, offensive line. No, linebacker's been actually worse than defensive line, but offensive line on offense definitely is a D grade. Craig, you disagree?
No, it's been inconsistent.
Okay.
The thing that really grates me is sats. I don't like sats. Everybody's gonna play 8. Everybody's gonna play 8 or 9 in the box against us. I understand that. So it's gonna be take what you can get and make the most of it. But when you die, when you're getting beat, on those outside, on those stunts or speed rushes on the outside, I got an issue with that. So yeah, I won't. I tend to agree. I think last year we were talking about, we didn't physically match up. I think we physically match up, but we just got to do a better job of pass protection, because to tell you the truth, our best offensive weapon is our passing game. And in order to make that go, we got to do a better job on pass protection. We can't allow our, we lost 3 quarterbacks for a reason. So
yeah.
I'll just be brutally honest.
That's a good point. That's a good point, Craig. They just didn't get hurt falling out the shower, right?
Right.
they got hurt in a football game. So
we didn't do a good job of protecting, and it's gotten better.
Yeah,
but it's not where it needs to be. We've improved, but it's not up to the standard where we need to be going into the stretch of these last 5 games, because these last 5 games are winnable games, each one of them, and there's nobody that we play from here on out who's just like a juggernaut. They're good teams. There's some good teams in there, but they're not like head and shoulders better than we are. So these are winnable games, but a lot of it's going to depend on how well we protect our quarterback going forward. Whoever's under center, whether it be KJ or Braxton, whoever's under center, whoever's running in the backfield, whether it be JT or Shamik or Wesley, we've got to do a better job of getting on blocks, staying on blocks, and pass protection, especially off the outside pass rush, because most of our sacks are coming from the outside. They're coming off the tackles. So that's where we're at.
What about you, Dougie? Oh, so he muted himself. Doug muted himself. He's such a politician.
You guys didn't want to hear what I had to say. That's what that was. Craig said it.
He had to bleep that out.
Those are areas where we've had some turnover, right? And not just turnover, but guys, think about the tackles we've had in the past couple of years. A lot of those guys signed NFL contracts at some point, right?
Mm-hmm.
Brandon Parker, to Tyreek Stewart, to Ricky Lee, Jason Ivey, all those guys fit a specific role for us, and we're consistent in those roles, and we've had some continuity there. So this was one of the first years where none of those guys were here, and that makes a difference. So of course we got Corian, who's been there, but we renewed at the center position. So a lot of turnover, man, and you just don't have that same continuity. And I have no question in my mind that Coach Mattis can put it together and build it up. He's done it before, time in and time again, but we haven't looked our best, man. So again, Craig said it, those guys are green, they're young, they're learning, and they're not just learning, against Johnny Slap over here, Craig. They're learning against some quality guys and some quality defenses and some grown men at times. So
yeah, I think that's a good point. Hey, Craig, Craig, Dougie, I think that I'm not sure if the schedule is finalized for next year. But Earl needs to throw the staff a bone and schedule a patsy, because we gotta, like I say, it's like it can't be Murderer's Row every damn week. Not when you're so young, you green, and you're trying to figure out stuff like just back to back to back. Who was our easiest game? Tennessee State, maybe on the schedule.
I'm not going back up and start talking about the schedule. We had a phenomenal schedule this year, evident with the 4 HBCUs that we were able to play.
It was a
three of which at home.
It was a fan-friendly schedule. Listen, it was a great. If you're a fan, you love the schedule, right? Everything is pretty much, a lot, not everything, but a lot of games were in. And we got two home games after this bye. So we had 3 home games in a row. So yeah, it's fan-friendly. I'm not sure it's coach-friendly. Okay, I'm not sure if I'm Coach Gibbs. I love the schedule.
Hampton, Central, and South Carolina State at home. You'll take that. Just years ago, everybody was barking about how we're not playing HBCUs and the new opponents. You gave the people what they wanted in winnable games. It's not like any of those teams. Yeah. Your fan base doesn't want to see. And recruiting wise, as a coach, you appreciate those games too, because that's when you bring your top recruits in during those 3 games right there. Okay. So we saw plenty of big body guys, some guys I know. Craig Turner will be salivating over to see some of those guys put on a blue and gold uniform. So
I know Rod Broadway.
Broadway
specifically.
It is a proven formula. You bring them here on GHOE, you bring them here on those big games.
Right. There was a lot of
much
here
more you got to do other than that, but bring them back again in your first basketball game in December. I mean, like it's a proven formula. Those guys, one thing those guys know how to do is recruit the type of young men that we typically have had success with here in the past. So we'll see.
All right, let's go real quick, guys. So let's talk about quarterbacks. Okay, so this was.
Go ahead.
Now, if you want to give a eye, this is one where I could understand it. I'm gonna give a grade, but so everybody is well documented. Everybody got hurt, right? They were hurt before in the spring, hurt in the fall, hurt when the season started. We lost 3 in one game. We started the season with Champ Long. We thought he was going to be the key acquisition from the transfer portal. He lasted a total of 2 weeks, and he had a dislocated elbow. He might be coming back. Then Braxton Thomas looked good and come off the bench in week 1. He ended up dislocating his elbow week 2, and then the young upstart true freshman Jai Walls from Pittsburgh area breaks his collarbone. He's out for the year. So those guys were out of commission. Then we bring in the next wave. We get Nelson Lang, a true freshman. What's he from? New Jersey. 6'3" guy, can run like a gazelle, has a real good arm. Good mechanic. I was surprised by the mechanics he showed in the Hampton game. He lasted 2 quarters. He lasted a half, and then he ended up getting hurt somehow, and they replaced him at halftime with Noah Sanders, who's been in the program for a couple of years. Just getting a little bit of mop-up duty last year. He comes in the second half of the Hampton game and leads the 7th Heaven Miracle win to date, still the only victory we've had this season. Catch my breath. After Noah Sanders has his heroics, we play Central, so we go to the phone booth, take out Clark Kent, enter Superman. KJ White comes out, and he has been running the show since for the last 3 to 4 weeks. And he had a good spree where he went over 200 yards passing 3 straight weeks. Had a lot of highlights. Does not have his same athleticism, explosiveness. He's still athletic, but it's not like he was 2 years ago. And that might come back, and maybe not won't. He has a strong arm, really good fastball. He has a mechanical issue that I hope I can talk to him and he can talk to them, whatever. But I found out what's wrong with Kevin White. I've been watching tape all week, and I figured what's happened with why the ball's selling on him. But so Kevin White is now the QB1. He's the starter, but we get some guys back. If I had to give a grade for this whole quarterback scenario this year, I would go probably B+, considering how crazy everything's been. What would you get a grade, Dougie? Give me a quarterback grade.
B+ is fair, considering all the factors involved.
Yeah. B+. Craig, what do you say about the quarterback?
Yeah, I say a B+. I'm looking at KJ's numbers here. He's played 5 games.
Yeah.
He has a quarterback rating of 142.38.
Okay.
He's 66 out of 110 on his passes.
Yeah.
He's thrown for 5 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. So he's hitting 60% of his passes. He's got 930 yards over 5 games.
He's been fumbling a lot,
and he's thrown on average. Well, he fumbles because he's getting hit because we're not protecting him. It's not because he's just laying the ball down on the ground because he wants to.
Now, Champ Long was somebody who might have been accused of laying the ball down because he wants to, because he wasn't getting hit sometime, and Champ Long was throwing that thing like he was rolling dice. But KJ White KJ White is different. Like KJ White just needs to use 2 firm hands on the ball when he's up at all times, because like he laid down 3 times against South Carolina State and lost 2 of them. Go ahead, Craig. I'm sorry.
Well, again, I mean, you got a 250-pound defensive end and a 295-pound defensive tackle driving your head into the ground. You're going to get the ball. I mean, golly, man, let's get real here. But KJ's averaging 232 a game. This is a kid who hasn't played he hasn't played more than 3 quarters since his freshman year 2 years ago. So he's basically really, to be honest with you, this is really his first year of extended time under center. Yeah. And you can see that he's getting there. He's getting there. He's played well. I think once Braxton Thomas comes back, I think we're going to be in really good shape. Nelson Lane is back. He didn't play this past Saturday, but he's back from his sprained ankle. So I think we're going to be okay at quarterback from here on out. I'm not worried about quarterback this year or in the future. It's just a case of the grade will go up when the offensive line grade goes up. Right. I mean, it's just that simple. I don't have any problems with our quarterback situation. None whatsoever.
Yeah. And like I say, I think we might have a 2-headed monster, like you said, with Braxton Thomas, because I love Braxton Thomas, his moxie, and it's a small sample size, but he has a good arm. He's not the slowest guy in the world. He can move. Big dude. We might have to take a page out of Chennis Berry, Dougie, and we might have to figure out a way to get both of them on the field in the same game, because I don't see Braxton Thomas being chopped liver. And one thing I can tell you, it's going to be a different rules this current, offseason with the transfer portal, but we ain't about to keep 7 guys. Okay, there's too many dudes who got a taste of the limelight, and they see, hey, playing on the field is a whole lot better than holding a clipboard on the sideline. So, I don't care how you rank these guys. The only person who has a win this year is Noah Sanders, and he only played 2 quarters, and that's it. So he probably thinking, hell, you put me back in there, I get you another win, coach. So I don't know how many guys we're going to keep. I don't expect us to recruit any. I don't think we're going to reach out for anybody new unless everybody leaves, right? But I think we're going to try to maintain as much as possible. We got 7 now. I could see maybe going into next year with 4, right? I think you take 4 because you got to develop guys. These guys are all young. Nobody here. I think Noah Sanders is maybe a junior. He'll be a senior next year, but everybody here is still got 2+ more years of eligibility. And guys ain't gonna sit around. They have shown that they can play. And there's too many schools out here who need a good quarterback. So that's something they got to worry about. But let's go to Dougie. Let's go special teams real quick.
Well, you can't start off anywhere but with money. All right. Yeah. And, I'll be a prisoner of the moment with money with the 55-yard bomb school record. Yeah. 43 made field goals, I believe, for another school record. As a unit, I got to – when I'm not going as a unit, I'm giving Money Brown an A+. We're gonna start there. All right.
Let's show some video. Let's take a pause and let's go look at some. Let's celebrate some good stuff from G-Ho.
This was the first. That's what I'm talking about. Celebrate some of these good plays.
Yeah.
I'll let you guys handle the rest of it. Let me just give me the Money Brown part.
All right. So look here. It was a perfect 3 for 3 on field goal attempts for G-Ho. The moment was not too big for him. Here's the first one. This is a long field goal for FCS football. It's like 40-some yards, man. This not everybody is kicking this through easily.
And it is good.
And he's almost like the guy for the Cowboys. His form is just so subtle and consistent. I don't even get like the butterflies no more. When he lines up, I'm just like, yeah, that's 3. This is what, 55-yarder?
55-yarder.
This is
He's damn near standing in midfield.
New school record. And man, I tell you, man, Turk has the best. He's the best play-by-play guy because he gets so much. Listen to how this plays out. He gets so much facts about. Yeah, his commentary. Yeah.
With the wind, Brown on the way. It is good.
55 yards.
Andrew Brown. 55 yards. A new school record for Andrew Brown.
Andrew Brown said, "Coach, put me in. I think I got a shot at it." And you mentioned partner with the wind, and Brown used every bit of that leg to get it over the goalpost. 55 yards out for Andrew Brown.
Big time, man. Happy for Andrew
Before
on
the
that
game,
one, man.
you and I met with Sean Hendricks, the
Listen to this.
Associate Athletic Director and Senior Women Administrator here, who actually teaches yoga to the football team. And she said that the kickers, in particularly Andrew Brown, really enjoy the yoga pregame because it helps them balance their leg muscles.
So I had to include that. That's Spencer Turkin with the fun facts. He's doing research about the yoga habit. That's awesome.
Hey, those
Turkey's the best. But so Money Brown, obviously he's A++++. And you got to think the first game of the season, we lose because of a blocked punt. Look at how far away long ago that seemed now, based on where we at with our kicking game. We didn't even know we was gonna be able to get kicks, field goals off successfully, and now we're kicking from 55 yards out. That's crazy. So that's why, even though this is a midterm, it's not final. Things can improve. Like Doug say, for improving, things can improve. We improved our field goal unit, not just our kicker, the whole process. But what about the kicking game? I think our punter's good, Doug. Page he's a bad mamma jamma.
Yeah, the actual kickers themselves have kicked the ball well. Protection has not been solid at times. We did have some kicks blocked, which one, I mean, the big one in the main game, I mean, that gave them that first score. We were dominating that game and gave up, a block punt for a touchdown. And those are big momentum shifters, especially when you're, pretty much holding them scoreless up until that point, I believe.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we talked about being up 10 the last, couple weeks, and plays like that, they swing them. So when Coach Gibbs talks about shooting yourself in the foot, that's what we're talking about. But we do have a punt return for a touchdown. So
Elijah can do
some of that out. So if I'll take that. We hadn't quite cracked the kickoff return, and I'm taking the UCF game, and I'm kind of sliding that one out of the way too because they opened up with that kickoff return. A little bit different of a setup there, but overall, we've been a little bit above average. And again, Money Brown, I think he tips the scale for you. So as a unit, I'll give him a B.
Okay. What about you, Craig?
Yeah, same thing. The biggest thing, it's not our kickers. We got really good punters. Paige is doing a great job on punting. Money is nailing the field goals. My biggest issue is block punts. 5 of the 6 losses I look at block punts were the turning points in those games that we lost.
Say it again.
Especially
5.
We've had five punts blocked
in one season.
5
in one season.
In one season.
Good Lord.
In one season.
Good Lord.
We had a block in Tennessee State, resulted in a touchdown. We had a punt block UCF, but UCF we were overmatched anyway, so I'll take that one out.
Central.
We had we had a block punt Central. We had block punt at Maine. We had block punt at William and Mary. I'm trying to remember. I think it's the South Carolina State game. We did not give up a block punt, but all the other games that we played this year, we've given up block punts. 3 of which led directly to were touchdowns.
That's crazy stat, man.
Do that.
Yeah, we gotta do something different.
Can't do that. We don't have a lot of margin for error. You know, we don't have a lot of margin of error in the games that we play. All our games from here on out are probably going to be one possession type games, 1 or 2 possession type games. So you can't have. We talk about big splash plays. Those hurt worse than big splash plays. Those hurt a lot worse because those are unearned because we didn't pass. We didn't punt block. Those are unearned points that we give up. That's a 14-point swing in every single game that we've lost. So, you know, that right there sits in my craw. And I know it sits in Coach Gibbs' craw because it's the same. It's the same. You know, we get momentum, we get things going, and then we give up. You know, we give up punt block, and it ends up either being first and goal at the 5 like it was this past week,
or at least in the red zone. At least in the red zone.
Yeah. Or it's a recovered in the end zone for a touchdown. Those are the things that are killing us. It's those focus moments. I keep going back to that. It's those focus moments. We don't stay focused even on the routine. We take what we consider to be a routine play. We're not mentally up to that, and we give it up. It's not so much a talent. It's the mental aspect of the game. That's what we got to conquer now. So you know, I agree with Doug. Based on everything, probably a B. But we got to correct the block punt situation. We cannot give up a block punt every single week. Yeah.
So
I was formation,
or
what, or personnel or what, but we got to stop doing that.
Yeah. So I'll go A+ for punter and kicker combined, right? And then I will go as far as the actual kicking, foot to ball, right? And then I will go like D for, you know, punt protection. Punt protection, and even, you know, coverage, because there have been some long returns on us too. But I think what tips it back to a favorable grade would be the emergence of Elijah Kennedy, because he's a weapon now in the return game. And he did that last week at GHOE. He did that week, you know, getting Maine. So Elijah Kennedy is not a flash in the pan. I think he's going to be consistently somebody to look out for the rest of the year. So I give him. I can give an overall grade probably like in the B- area for special teams. All right, last one, and before we get out of here, unfortunately we got to talk about the coaching staff, and we got to give them a grade, and they always get mad. So, you know, might be some more chilly press conferences in the future. Give you a heads up, right? But I would say we're 1-6. So if a team is 1-6, then my ceiling, the top, the penthouse is a C-, right? If you 1-6. And then if I assess more, I'll bring you down to even worse. I know this is the first year, and because I'm going to say this, because of the quarterback situation and how they have handled that better than I can imagine anybody else handling it, I'm going to stay at – I want to give them a D, but I'm going to give them a C-. And that's just because they have been close recently in the last couple of games. The central embarrassment is what it was. It's an embarrassment that cannot happen. But this team plays hard. Coach has he's been challenging them publicly and I'm sure privately, and they seem to be responding. Hindsight's 2020. I think we made some mistakes with our roster construction. I'll stand on the hill and say we made bad decisions on how we assembled this roster. We should have been more aggressive in areas. And you can say, well, you can't get it out. Yeah, you got to find a way to get it. But I thought they were crazy to have 7 quarterbacks on the roster. I'm like, you got too many guys. Those guys going to be just sitting around there, you know, talking on their phone. They're not going to have a chance to develop. And we needed all 7 of those damn quarterbacks. So I was wrong about that. I'm glad we had all 7. So I'm going to give this coaching staff a C-. And I think, you know, if they go on a roll here, the grade can definitely go up to a B by the end of the year. Craig, what grade you give the coaching staff?
Well, being a little bit closer to it, I know I understand some things that some issues that they were having to deal with when they got here.
Okay.
First thing was to turn the mindset of this team around and get these guys to start believing that they can win and compete.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people underestimate that. People don't give enough weight to that. Football is in large part, is a mental game. And people say, well, it's about players. Yes, it's about players. But about 60% of what you do is about preparation and what your mindset is going to be going into a season and going through the season on a week-to-week basis. And it's real easy to discount that and just look at the statistical part of it or the physical part of it and discount the other end and figure that it's a plug-and-play situation. This ain't the NFL. Okay, these kids are not, or at least our kids aren't getting paid hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars to perform. The NFL is, and a lot of people make the correlation between college ball, especially on our level, and try to equate it to what they see on TV every Saturday with the SEC and Big Ten and what they see on Sundays in the NFL. Two different animals. One is a business. The other is playing. The other is amateurs playing for the love of the game. So understanding that, are we where we want to be as far as the staff? No. There's things that we got to improve. We got to improve our play selection, especially inside the red zone. I think we're okay in the middle of the field, but for some reason we get into a mindset in the red zone. We're not in a position to overpower people, so we're going to have to be at this point in time. So we're going to have to be a little bit more creative about what we do in the red zone offense. Defensively, we've got to do a better job of getting these guys to focus in and be in the right place at the right time. And get out of some bad habits of overextending ourselves trying to make a play.
Yeah.
But given where we were and where we are, and the progress where we probably will be by the end of the season, I give the staff a B right now.
Okay.
I give a B.
All right, Dougie.
I'm right there with Craig. We align today, man. I'm giving them a B. Again, it's not all about the on the field stuff. Craig talked about flipping the culture, changing the mindset. I'll see all the little things. I mean, you can look across our fan base and you can look at the responses inside the press conferences. You're in there.
Yeah.
We're in a much happier place than we were last year. And again, Coach Gibbs says it, and you can't be so focused on the outcome. Right now, we're focused on the process. And we're able to see that the process is working and that we're getting better and that we are improving. So that's what I'm excited about. I think it was most evident during the Hampton game, right? Just that little bit of taste of victory, Craig, was enough for me to at least give you a B because it had been so long. I mean, but all jokes aside, Coach Gibbs won his first game at home. Got our first CAA win, got us off the hump, right? Or got us over the hump with just getting a home win against a rival. So, a conference rival at this point. But glad we were able to get that win. We're looking to build more, and I think we're going to see some more wins for the season is over.
I think so. Like I say, I mean, every horseshoes and hand grenades. That was Coach Gibbs's comment from the press conference a couple weeks ago. That's the only thing close counts in. But we're up 9-0 midway through the third quarter last week on GHOE. If we beat South Carolina State, the whole tenor of this show changes, right? Right. The whole tenor of this show changes if we just hold on. And we had a 9-point lead with 5 minutes ago in the third quarter. Granted, the only game we have won was a miracle where we should have lost. We were down like 10 points in the last minute and a half. But so I kind of balances out. I think we got how many more games we got left? Five more games. How they use this bye week will really determine a lot.
That's true.
I like you said, Craig. I want to see some of these mental errors get fixed. I don't want to see the same mistakes. I don't want to see the same play calling issues in the red zone. I think for the most part, we've done a lot better with time and clock management. I think we're a lot better at the end of quarters and the halves in the game scenarios. We know what we want to do, and it's not like we're just trying to go on Chat GPT and say, give us a good 2-minute play right here. I think our preparation is showing. But we 1-6, so I can't gaslight the viewers and the people in the chat and say, everything is all rosy. We're 1-6, and we got a tough schedule coming up these last 5 games. But you know what? We got plenty of time to figure it out. We'll talk about that next week. Guys, it's been a great show. I know you guys had fun for GHOE. Let's have some final thoughts. Dougie, I know you guys, I saw on social media, High Point Andrews is doing about it, all these fundraisers talking about getting where you fit in, all Aggies. Y'all trying to get some new helmets, right? Y'all trying to get some red helmets over at High Point Andrews?
Listen, we're always raising funds, man. We're always trying to collect a little bit, but we've got some projects out there, and one of the things our football team is reaching to bring back some old tradition, which they used to wear red helmets. So we've got an option.
What y'all wearing now? Y'all just got the white?
White, some white helmets with a block A. It's kind of classic, traditional.
Okay.
Which kind of saw Saturday out both teams. So yeah, but we've got some other stuff going on. We'll get to that, man. Before we go there, man, I want to give a shout out I got to back it up to this past GHOE weekend. Yeah. I want to give a shout out to all the folks that worked extremely hard to make sure we had a fun, safe GHOE. Got to give an extra special shout out to the law enforcement that was in place.
Oh, yes, please.
That's the safest I ever felt around 100 plus thousand people.
And, so professional, so patient. Man, I mean, listen, I might
much talk. Go ahead.
But Doug, I might actually, people say they're gonna do it, but I'm gonna sit down and write a letter to head of A&T campus security and Greensboro Police Department, whoever. But I wanted to thank them because that thing, especially in this climate where you hear all these horror stories, that thing felt like, so safe. And then it wasn't like a police presence where it was overwhelming, like they were just mean mugging, like, get over here. They were like, almost like they were part of the university. That's how integrated the law enforcement was. So if you are watching this and you're part of that, kudos. You guys are super trained, exemplary. And that's what that community policing that y'all was here about. That was a perfect example, man. It was seamless. Yeah. They were there, but they weren't overbearing,
there was so much talk about, early shutdowns and things that other homecomings were doing and how we were going to manage that. And the fact of the matter is they had a great plan in place and they executed their plan. Yeah. And when it was time to go, it was time to go. Folks were orderly for the most part. Yeah. But again, to feel safe amongst all those people, which was more than anybody had ever seen. There were more folks on that campus than anybody had ever seen for a GHOE. And it's tough to plan for that. I mean, you can have a plan when you look up and there's, extra 30,000 people standing around. Yeah. Like, man, trust me, that plan can go awry pretty quickly, but they were in place. They worked hard. They were friendly, like you said. They were cordial. Not to mention all the brass and the dignitaries we had on campus. I mean, you had former Governor Roy Cooper was gracing the yard. So we security generally gets stepped up when you have folks like that around, but to make sure they were safe and in place and did not feel infringed upon, I think we're pretty used to the snipers on the roof. At this point, you just gotta give them a wave.
I didn't see the snipers. I wasn't looking for them, but I went. So I came off the highway straight from Durham, and my youngest son with me. And he wanted to go pick up his buddy, who they're both in the 10th grade. And I was about to lay it down. I was tired. I was at a football game already, And so I was like, man, y'all go, I ain't going no more. So he said, yeah, we want to go do something. We want to experience GHOE. I was like, so that's when I came back to your tailgate, Dougie. And I basically I dropped them off. Said, y'all got 2 hours. y'all got to keep your cell phone on. I'm gonna let y'all go 6 to 8. Y'all call me and meet me back at the car. If not, then y'all gonna have to Uber home because I'm tired. So I let these 2 15-year-old kids just go in that whole mass of craziness. Let them see all the eye candy where you want to, and I felt safe enough doing that because of the vibe I got. So it's a good thing, man. Yeah, but so kudos to security. Anything else, Doug? I didn't mean to cut you off. Anything else?
Oh man, that's all I had. That's all.
Yeah. Thank you once again for putting on the world's greatest tailgate. Because by the time we got there, it was just some burgers left, but it was good enough for me, man.
Well, you know how it goes. Like I say, it's always a big family reunion, and this was the biggest family reunion. So it's just like family reunion, you get what's left, man. When it's gone, Craig.
Yeah.
Take it with you.
That's it.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
All right, Craig, what you got, man? Any other?
Well, I'm kind of like you. I was in amazement of the just how many people were compacted onto the campus this past weekend, and it was absolutely sublime the way it was handled. Hats off to A&T security, and also I think there was 11 different law enforcement agencies from the Triad area brought in additional deputies, police officers from surrounding law enforcement agencies, and you really didn't notice them, and I think that's the thing you can have is the security that you don't notice, because the ones that you don't notice are the people who really are keeping an eye on everything else. Right. I'm like Doug. There was no fear as far as being in a crowd that size, and we at A&T, we catch a lot of flack from a lot of other schools and individuals or whatever, but I don't think any other university could have pulled that off. I really don't. I looked at some of the, when I got home, really it was late Saturday, early Sunday. I was just shocked at the amount of shootings and incidents that occurred at different campuses that had homecomings on the same day. Not safe to even be in the dorms, and shooting in tailgates and at homecoming dances and out in parking lots and that sort of thing. And just the people that came to GHOE, we just didn't have that. Part of it a lot of it's security, but I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that people come to GHOE to have a good time, and that's it. It's not. If you're coming in with a chip on the shoulder, this ain't the place to come to. This is not the place to come to.
And I think really it's almost like when in Rome, do what the Romans do. So we're the Romans, and Romans are going to be chill. We're going to be kicking back. We're going to invite you for a plate. We're not going to, be trying to big time you, all that stuff. And I think some of that aggression, you got some people who just want to be in the mix. They look maybe not looking for trouble, but they look for action. And you find out, well, shoot, everybody here's on a cool vibe. Let me just put that thug stuff to the side, and let me just talk to this pretty girl over here or something. So I think that's what it has become, and people tend to, they tend to conform to what the predominant, I guess, atmosphere is. So, but yeah, man, it was a great thing, and next year is number 100, Craig. So.
Yeah, man, it's gonna be a monster. Next year will be a monster.
Yeah. And I enjoyed seeing you guys at the parade. I was able to do the parade before I had to get to on the highway, and y'all had like the little what was that? It wasn't a float. It was kind of like
it's a trolley.
It's a trolley. Yeah,
it's a beer trolley. It's a beer trolley. Yeah,
that's what it was. Yeah.
Big shout out to Brew Peddlers. I give them a plug tonight.
Okay.
Those folks down there. This is our third year for doing working with them to put that out there, and we have a lot of fun. It's just too damn early to get up to make all that happen, because it makes for an exceptionally long day. But it's the parade was a lot of fun, and I give credit to A&T for that. The parade went extremely smoothly this year, smoothest as I've seen in the 3 times we've done it. It was absolutely no hassles, no problems whatsoever, and so hats off to Mr. McNair, who helped, who basically was the point guy on the parade this year. Yeah,
good deal.
Great job. Great job.
Okay. All right, so there's a lot of stuff we left out. We got to get out here. It's been almost 2 hours, so we'll talk about, I guess, Campbell next week. That's our next game, next home game. So we're gonna be at Durham, Dougie, on Saturday, man. We got a big one, man. That's some Shaw Bears homecoming, man. Yeah, we gotta keep this winning streak going. But well, hopefully I'll give you a good report after this game. But for Doug Brown, AD Fresh, and of course the mayor, Craig Turner, I am Smudge Marsh. It's been a great episode of Inside the Valley. And you guys keep on recuperating and recovering from GHOE. Hope you don't have too much withdrawals. But we're going to get to almost the second part of our season coming up. We'll see what happens, what changes are made. Until then, see you guys next week. Peace. Aggie Pride.
Aggie Pride.
Aggie Pride.